Hey everyone, Scott with Ankle-Biter Woodworks again. Welcome back to my shop. Today we're going to be turning a antique pepper mill, and we'll be doing it out of Norfolk Pine. Got a blank here that measures about 3.5 by 3.5 by 7 inches long. About the only thing that I've done as far as preparation at this point is I've just bored a 1-inch hole all the way through, as well as set up a maple jam chuck so that we can go ahead and get started here. After looking around on Google for some ideas, I decided to go with this as the basic overall design. Found it over on Etsy. I forget whose store it was, but we'll be starting out with something similar to this. I'm starting out, I'm using my square carbide cutter from Easy Wood Tools, and we're going to go ahead and start getting this trued up and round. Here, for those of you who haven't turned Norfolk Pine before, it's a fairly soft wood, but it definitely does sand up and polish really nice. So now that I've pretty much got it round, I need to turn it down tenon here on this side. And after watching a couple of videos on YouTube, especially from Carl Jacobson as far as how he turned his, to help with centering of the grinder mechanism, I'm going to turn this down to a tenon that is about 2 inches wide, give or take a bit, and leave that about 1/4 or 1/8 of an inch in height after truing up this edge right here. And this tenon right here will actually be used to locate this centrally. It'll fit right in this opening here, and that way we can get this perfectly centered once we get to the point where we're mounting it. So at this point I'm going to start working with the top portion here, and I'm going to use the mini easy finisher here, and we'll go ahead and get this all rounded out and roughly down to where we want it to be. Well, got the first sanding done on the main part of it. Had to start with 80 grit to take care of some tear out. Because the Norfolk pine is such a soft wood, it tears out so incredibly easy, especially when you're using scrapers like the card body tools. But quick few minutes with some sandpaper, and we've got just about all the tear out removed here. And started out with 80, and we'll be going up to 320 or 400 here after I finish shaping this base here. Now that I got it pretty much evened out, I'm just finishing up dry sanding with a 320 grit sanding sponge that you can just get from Home Depot or your local home center. And what I'm doing now is I'm wetting down the blank with just some water here to raise the grain up so that I can go ahead and knock it back down before applying the finish. I'll go ahead and let that dry for a few, and then once that's done, I'll go ahead and bring it back and we'll go ahead and knock it down. Okay, well now since the water's dried off and the grain has been raised, I'm going to go ahead and finish knocking it down with some 400 grit sandpaper on a sanding sponge. That way everything comes out nice and even. Alright, so now that all that's left, I'm going to touch this top up a little bit, and then I'm going to start shaping the bottom a bit better here, and then we're almost ready for finish. Alright, so we're all sanded up and pretty much ready for a bit of finish to be put on. I'm going to be using Captain Eddie's recipe for Obie's Shine Juice, which is just a 1 part denatured alcohol, 1 part boiled linseed oil, and 1 part of de-waxed shellac. And to apply it, I'm just using a shop towel from the typical blue box of shop towels you get at the auto parts store. I like these a lot better than just the regular paper towels because they seem to hold together a lot better, especially when you're using it for friction polishing. And right now I'm just getting it into the wood here before we do any sort of friction polishing. You just need to make sure that everything's coated nice and thoroughly. As you can see already, the chatoyance of this Norfolk Pine is just absolutely gorgeous. And once we get the finish built up a little bit so that there's a little bit of depth in there, it'll really start to shine. The pine just soaks all of the finish up like a sponge, so it'll take a little bit to get a nice build-up on the surface of the wood here. There we go. Now we're starting to see some really good chatoyance. Give that a few moments to soak in, and then we'll give it a little bit more before I start to friction polish it. Okay, so I'll let that dry for about 10-15 minutes, and then I'll come on back out here and start friction polishing that. So once that's ready, I'll bring you on back. Alright guys, well, looks like we got it dried off here pretty well, so now comes the fun part of friction polishing. And again, I'm just using OB Shine Juice based on Capnetti's recipe, and use the blue shop towels from the auto parts store. And I'll be bringing the RPMs of the lathe here up to about 1500 or so, give or take. And we'll go ahead and get this bad boy polished. Take a look-see here. Yeah, we're getting there. Definitely needs a little bit more. Now we're getting there. Part of the problem is it just gets so hot you can't hold on to it, so I've got one of those sanding sponge blocks from Home Depot as a backer here, so we'll use that to hold things on. Now we're getting somewhere. Go ahead and change the light angle here so you guys can see the chatoyance on it. That's looking nice. Alrighty, well I'm going to let this dry a little bit and put on another couple of coats, and once that's all done I'll bring you back to see the final product. Well, I ended up having to mix some more shine juice. Turns out that my bottle was a little on the old side, but it's definitely made a real difference with the quality of the finish that goes on there. So we'll just go ahead and keep on applying. Yeah, you can definitely see what I mean by the additional gloss there. So just got a little bit more to do, and then we'll let it sit and cure up a bit. See if we can see the chatoyance here a little better. That's looking gorgeous. Nice and glossy. Who'd have thunk that some shellac, boiled linseed oil, and a little bit of alcohol could do something like that? Well, all we need to do now is let it cure a little bit before I start handling it, and then it'll be pretty much time to get it off the lathe and start assembling. Alright, so next step will be to turn down most of this tenon. I'm going to leave just a hair under a full blade's width of my easy parting tool here, and that'll be perfect to fit underneath the lip of the pepper grinding mechanism. Back this out just a hair, so I don't want to be hitting steel on steel, so I got to be real careful on this one. Keep it around 550-ish. There we go. Bring that back in. And so that looks like it'll be good there. Feels nice and smooth. Wood just shines under that light. It's one thing I've always liked about the Norfolk Pine is the amount of chatoyance that it has with even the barest amounts of finishes. And before we do a final parting off, I'll go ahead and wipe just a wee bit of shine juice on the very bottom here, and then I'll finish parting that off from the jam chuck. Just do this one by hand. It doesn't need to be too pretty down there, since it's for the most part not even going to be seen. Just need to make sure you get enough in there to cover the bare wood. So there's that. Go ahead and finish parting off this bottom end here, and then we'll be ready to start assembly. I got a jam chuck in here, so the turn down wood goes all the way up into the body here, but still need to be a bit careful here as we go through. And yep, we're through. So that bad boy is ready to come off of the lathe. Back you out here a bit. Oh, wrong way. There we go. Back that off. Scooch that out of the way there. There we go. And then trim this off. I'll just use a utility knife for that. Or an X-Acto knife, that works. Alrighty. So there's that. And here you can see that little lip a bit better here. That'll actually be up underneath the pepper grinder mechanism. And it helps get it nice and centered there. And before we do that, though, on the inside here, I'm going to go ahead and soak that with some thin CA just to stabilize the wood up inside there. And that way, once it's all cured, it'll be food safe. So I will go ahead and do that and bring you back as I do final assembly. Okay, so we're here at the workbench. We're going to go ahead and put on the pepper grinder mechanism here. All it is 2 little screws here, and with the help of the little tenon that I put on there, it's a real easy matter of marking where all the screw holes need to be. And it helps if I have it out far enough to get my big old drill past the lip of the mechanism there. Okay, and with those marked, and yes, I still use a drill with a cord. So before I put that on there, I'll go ahead and get the threads into these little holes. And Norfolk pine is a nice soft wood, so it's real easy to get these in there and get those threads cut out. Alrighty. Get these screws out and get the pepper grinder all on there. Got the inside cured with thin CA, so it's nice and stabilized and we don't have to worry about it splitting from being exposed to the air. And with the CA being fully cured, it's food safe, and we don't have to worry about anything, so it'll be able to take a nice light hand washing as needed. So, first screw. That's one. Back this out just a wee bit here. And there we go. Now to use it, all we have to do is fill up this little reservoir here with peppercorns, and then when you close it, you adjust the size of what you want with this little turn here, and then you pretty much just crank it over, and then it'll all fall out the bottom here. Well, thanks everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and perhaps be inspired to go out and try your own stuff. This was actually a really easy project, something that a beginner could do without even thinking about it. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and like us on Facebook at anklebiterwoodworks.com. Don't forget to subscribe and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/anklebiterwoodworks, and also visit our website at www.anklebiterwoodworks.com. Thank you. Well, after I finished up the recording of the video there, I decided I wasn't quite too happy with the finish there. So I went ahead and ran this through the Beal 3-step polishing system, and everything came out much nicer, much more durable, and the carnauba wax finish will definitely hold up a lot better. So thanks for watching. Really appreciate you stopping by to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe. You can reach us on Facebook at facebook.com/anklebiterwoodworks, or you can come to our website at www.anklebiterwoodworks.com. Thank you.